Go live. Here we go. Hello, everyone, and welcome once again. It's Sunday. And I am JT, aka the Master. And as you see in the background of my head and in back of my head, for no reason, fantasy football. We're talking about week 10, people. Week 10. Most leagues, majority of leagues, go to week 14. So it's crunch time. It's crunch time. Hopefully, you're on the positive side of your record, your league record, and you're making a push for the playoffs. You're making a push and positions for your playoff run. You got to be in it to win it. Unfortunately, I'm in 3 leagues. 2 of the leagues I'm not doing too well. It's called desperation mode right now. I'll tell you that right now. It's desperation mode. Yes, it is. And I'm in a situation where I cannot lose. I cannot lose. So every week, to me, right now, in either one of in those 2 leagues, is playoff time. Playoff time. I lose and I'm out. I got to win. No 2 ways about it. Okay? And if you're in that situation, I've told you a few weeks back, you had to have some kind of foresight and see and evaluate your team and make some moves. Try to accumulate players through trading or to the waiver wire. Okay? You can't sit status quo if your record was on the negative side and you want to get into the playoffs. Now, if you don't want to get into the playoffs, you just don't do anything. If your team is bad, it's going to stay bad. And you're going to get pounded each and every week. But if you are if your ego is in place and you want to be competitive, you got to try to make some moves. It's not too late. For most leagues, the trade deadline is the 18th, which is a week from yesterday. So it's on a Saturday. Next Saturday is the trade deadline. So you got to try to make some moves, even last-minute moves, desperation moves, whatever it is, and try to get in position to be able to win some games, to be able to get into the playoffs. That's what you want to do. I don't care if you're the bottom seed in the playoffs. Bottom seeds have won championships. Bottom seeds have won championships. Okay? But you got to be in the playoffs to have a chance. No playoffs, no chance. Okay? So let's get to these games. Now, I'm not going to go because it's in progress right now. Indianapolis Colts at the New England Patriots, and you should have known. Either you kept up on your league games, or your commissioner, if he's a good commissioner, remind your league members that there's an early game. Set your lineup. Okay. But you got to keep up on it. If you want to be competitive and you want to have a chance to do what you need to do, you got to pay attention. You got to pay attention to what's going on. And that's being able to know when the games are being played, whether it's early game like right now, Colts and Patriots, or 1-4 8 Monday night games. Okay. 1 o'clock games, 4 o'clock games, 8 o'clock game, and a Monday night game. You got to know who's playing when, what time, and put them in accordingly. And pay attention to injury updates. Got to pay attention to that. 1 o'clock games, injury inactives come out around 11:30. 4 o'clock games that come out about 2:30, 3 o'clock, somewhere around there. 8 o'clock games, they come out around 6:30, somewhere around there. Okay, you got to pay attention to inactive games. You don't want to zero in one of your positions. Do not want to zero in one of your positions. So you got to pay attention to what's going on, how things are shaking out. Okay, so let's get this thing. Let's get this party started. Okay. First off, let's do this. Okay. I'm trying to keep track of the game. I should pay attention to what I'm doing. But it is what it is, man. I love football. Anyway, let's get this started. First game out of the box. My Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. And I know this is a hell of a matchup. Two AFC North teams. Cleveland's 5-3. The Ravens are what, 7-2? Something like that? Yeah, 7-2. Big game. This is a big game. Baltimore mollywopped my Cleveland Browns the last time they played in Cleveland. But that was a rookie quarterback who got thrown in at the last minute. This got to be a quarterback game. Quarterbacks, they're going up against the top 5 defenses in the league, without a doubt. I could say the top 3 top 3 defenses: Cleveland and Baltimore. This is a quarterback game. Quarterbacks don't have to win this game, in my opinion. Quarterbacks don't have to win this game. Deshaun, you got to show up. Lamar, you got to show up. You got to make some plays for your team. Statement game. This is a statement game. AFC, this couldn't be more important. These two teams in this division don't like each other, beat each other up, just like Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh not so much because of the quarterback situation. I'm not too up on Kenny Pickett. But this is a must-see game, in my opinion. A must-see game. Now it's on the road. Cleveland's on the road at Baltimore. Do I say play Deshaun Watson? And no. No. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't care. I'm going to go out on a limb. I say play Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson's got something to prove. I think he got I wouldn't say he got his mojo back last week because they're playing against a really bad Arizona team. But I think he gained a little confidence. Plus, he's completely healthy. He's not on the injury list. Supposedly, he's completely healthy. That makes a big difference. Okay? Big difference. Plus, playing against, you got to step up. You got to step up. Okay? You're playing in Baltimore, hostile environment. Okay. I'm telling you to play Deshaun Watson. 2 quarterback leagues. Single quarterback? I don't think so. 2 quarterback leagues? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because I think he's going to make some plays. He's going to surprise some people. I think he's going to quiet some people down. Now, I could be wrong, and I may be quieted down after this, but I have faith in my quarterback. I don't Kareem Hunt is a complimentary piece. Okay, everybody's pumping up Kareem Hunt. I still say it's Jerome Ford. I've talked about Jerome Ford last year when they picked him up, and I talked about Jerome Ford as a replacement for Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb. He's him. Okay, this is Jerome Ford, but Jerome Ford is no slouch. Okay, I like Jerome Ford in this game. I like, you know what? Maybe not Amari Cooper so much. Maybe Elijah Moore or David Njoku are going to step up. Okay, it's time. Now I wouldn't say it's time for Njoku, but it's time for Elijah Moore to earn a keep. Okay, and this is a sleeper, people. This is a sleeper. The first sleeper of the week, Cedric Tillman. Who? Okay, Cedric Tillman. They got rid of Donovan People-Jones. They shipped him off to Detroit. Who steps in? Cedric Tillman. Don't be surprised if he comes up big in here, because they're going to, all their attention is going to be on Amari Cooper. Okay. On the other side, Keaton Mitchell. I've talked about this kid before more than once. Keaton Mitchell. This is going to be another surprise. I know people are going to be talking about Gus Edwards, and Gus Edwards is the bell cow, not the bell cow, but the number one running back for Baltimore. But this is the home run hitter that they have in Keaton Mitchell in running back. I don't like any of their pass catchers, Odom Beckham, Zay Flowers. I can't recommend them. Justice Hill, come on, man. Of course, push comes to shove. When the pressure's on, you're going to go to your go-to guy, which is Mark Andrews for Lamar Jackson. So you play Lamar Jackson, and you play Mark Andrews. Those are the two staples, in my opinion, for the Baltimore Ravens. Okay, let's move on to the next matchup. We got 4 teams on a bye: Miami Dolphins, Philadelphia Eagles. I'm trying to think who the other team on a bye. I should have said something earlier. Hold on, let me just get this real quick, and I'll tell you who's on a bye. It's my bad. Tell you who's on a bye. Bye week would be the Miami Dolphins, the Philadelphia Eagles, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Los Angeles Rams. Okay, 4 teams on a bye. Don't put any of those players in. You won't get any points unless that's what your intention is, of not getting any points. And I kind of doubt that. Okay. All right, let's go and talk about the next game that's on the docket. That's we like. Houston Texans at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Houston Texans coming in with the C.J. Stroud, who, in my opinion, is the rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year. Kids lighten it up. I stand corrected. I put my big foot in my mouth about C.J. Stroud, saying Ohio State quarterbacks don't pan out. Well, guess what? This is not the case. This kid's the real deal, and Cincinnati's going to have a lot on his hands. The defense against this kid. He's throwing 30, 40 times a week, and it's taking care of the football. Very, very little turnovers. Come on, man. And this is a rookie. Pick second in the 2023 draft. You think Carolina is you regretting taking Bryce Young? Come on, man. C.J. Stroud. You play him absolutely against the secondary. Absolutely. Tank Dell, Noah Brown, Nico Collins is out, not playing. And he may not play even next week due to this calf injury. Okay. And the Dalton Schultz. He loves throwing. I've always said this. I say it ad nauseum, people. The best friend for a young rookie quarterback, or for a young quarterback at just a young quarterback, is a tight end. And it's got to be a very capable tight end. And Dalton Schultz is just that. Okay? Come on. On the other side, we got problems. We got serious problems in the passing game. You know why? Because T. Higgins is out. Jamar Chase is dealing with a back issue. He's questionable. The only really healthy wide receiver of note is Tyler Boyd. But I have another sleeper for you in the wide receiver position. Trent Irwin, number 16. He's number 16 on the program for the Cincinnati Bengals. Don't discount him when all attention goes to either Jamar Chase or Tyler Boyd. If Jamar Chase doesn't play, Trent Irwin is going to be that dude. Okay. Let's move on to the San Francisco 49ers. Both teams coming off a bye. San Francisco is coming off a 3-game losing streak. They need this game. They need this game. I've said before, and I'll say it again, AFC South teams, especially the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, play better at home than they do on the road. But these are two good defenses going up against good offenses in good offensive pieces. I'll go with San Francisco first. I would play Brock Purdy, 2-quarterback league, not a single, 2-quarterback league. I would play Chris McCaffrey. Come on, man. That's a no-brainer. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. Deebo Samuel coming back off an injury, had a bye week to recover. I think these guys are going to have things straightened out from the past 3 weeks and come out blazing. And don't let me discount George Kittle in that group. Okay. On the other side, Trevor Lawrence, absolutely. Travis Etienne, surprise to me, but he's balling out. Christian Kirk. And what happened to Calvin Ridley? What happened to Calvin Ridley? He's either boom or bust. Either boom. Is he going to be a boom? Now, this is one of the this is a good matchup for wide receivers against the San Francisco, because they've been getting torched in a passing attack. Did they fix some things? I know the defensive coordinator who sat up in the booth is supposed to be down on the field. That's the change. Okay, you've heard that before. You've seen that before. Steelers brought their offensive coordinator from in the booth to on the sidelines. This is just the opposite. Defensive coordinator in the booth, now he's on the sidelines. Okay? And don't let me forget Evan Ingram, best friend of a young quarterback, is the tight end. And in this passing game, Evan Ingram, and I've said this before if you listen to me before, it's ironic. It's ironic. And it's, I wouldn't say strange, but when you have a very good tight end like George Kittle, that's one of your weaknesses is against one of your defensive weaknesses is against the tight end. How can you figure that out? How can you have a very good tight end that the defense in practice is always going against. And then when you get into a real life game, one of your weaknesses is going against the tight end of the opposite team. Really? I don't understand it, but it's a strange situation. But I think this comes to whoever has the ball last. Okay, I'm not picking winners or losers here. I don't do that. This is fantasy football. I don't have any sleeper for this team. But we'll move on to the New Orleans Saints. This is interesting. This is another good matchup. New Orleans Saints at the Minnesota Vikings with no Kirk Cousins, but Joshua Dobbs, who made an appearance after less than a week, 4 days, 3 days, something like that with the team. Didn't even know who he was throwing to. Didn't even know who his center was. Maybe he did because he saw the name on the back when the ball's hiked. He didn't even know any of his teammates. Really. He didn't know by name? No way. No way. And he pulls out a game? Okay. Now the New Orleans Saints, good defense. Minnesota's defense is rising. It's getting better. It's getting better. How much better is it going to be? I think this is another game. Whoever has the ball last. The stars in here: Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, Joshua Dobbs. I think Joshua Dobbs can be successful playing at home against this New Orleans defense. Alexander Madison, I'm not really high on him, but he's going to be a starting quarterback. But don't discount Ty Chandler, the other running back, who's now the backup because Cam Akers got hurt, is out for the season, and his career may be over. I tell you that right now. Cam Akers' career may be over because he ruptured his other Achilles, not the one he hurt prior to this, his other one. That's almost like a death knell for a running back. Jordan Addison, but the big one is T.J. Hockenson. That's guy in the middle of the field that's going to get peppered. Okay. All right, let's move on. And KJ Osborne, I just seen, more likely won't play, and that leads up to Brandon Powell, the other wide receiver. I think number 2 or 4, whatever the number is. Brandon Powell. Don't forget that name. That may come into play in this game. All right, let's move on to the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Green Bay Packers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, oh man, this is a running back game. I have to say that this is a running back game. I'm going to go to the Green Bay first and say that Aaron Jones should be able to run on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Only viable pass catcher that I like is not Christian Watson. It's Romeo Doubs. I know this is Jordan Love, and I wouldn't suggest playing Jordan Love. Even if you had to twist my arm. But I would say that the only guy I would like in this is Aaron Jones, and in a desperation mode, is Romeo Doubs. On the Steelers side, now I've always said now, I may talk about a wide receiver, but I don't like the quarterback. Now, I've been questioned about that, but okay. The guy that has been getting peppered with targets, and I've always said targets equal opportunities, is Deontay Johnson. And George Pickens in social media spoke up, was a little pissed off. Second-year wide receiver. Yeah, second-year wide receiver decided he wanted to flex his mouth. And his coach said, you can flex your mouth all you want. It doesn't even faze me. Now, does that get him more targets? It may. But he's limited. George Pickens, I mean, big preseason hype was with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. Didn't like it. I've talked about it, and if you listen to the FSP show, or you listen to this show, I've told you, didn't like Kenny Pickett. And George Pickens doesn't get open that much. He relies on his 50-50 balls, okay? Because he's limited in his route running. Deontay Johnson is not. It's not. That's why he's open more than George Pickens and an easier target to throw to, okay? George Pickens was able to do what he needed to do last year and early part of this year because Deontay Johnson wasn't around. Deontay Johnson's around. And guess what? George Pickens, you are not him. That's why. And I'll tell you this, people. He's been sitting for 4 weeks on the waiver wire. He won't play this week. There's a strong possibility he'll play in week 11. Okay? Pat Firemuth. Kenny Pickett likes throwing Pat Firemuth. Pick him up, put it on your IR. Most fantasy teams have an IR position. If you don't have it filled out with somebody else, put Pat Firemuth if you're hurting for tight ends. Tight ends are few and far between. And then try to bring him out on week 11. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to help you out. All right, let's move on to the next game, which would be the Tennessee Titans at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Will Levis is the growing thing now. And he's revitalized DeAndre Hopkins. Excuse me. He's revitalized DeAndre Hopkins' life and the worth, I should say. So you play DeAndre Hopkins. He loves throwing to DeAndre Hopkins. And DeAndre Hopkins can still get open. Traylon Burks is not is hurt. You got Kyle Phillips. I don't think so. You got Okwankwo, the tight end. Okay, if you're desperate for a tight end, that's what I'm talking about. Chigoziem Okwankwo. Okay. On the other, and quite naturally, Derrick Henry. I don't have to tell you that. You played Derrick Henry. Okay. This is a tough run defense in Tampa Bay, and it's in Tampa Bay, but you still play Derrick Henry. Speaking of running backs, you play Rachaad White. I told you I love Rachaad White. He's getting more and more PPR. He may not be as effective in the running game because the offensive line and the offensive rushing for Tampa Bay ain't all that, but he is a really good pass catcher, and that's where his bread is buttered. You play Mike Evans quite naturally and Chris Osborne. I'm not too high on the quarterback, but the quarterback's thrown to some very good weapons in those two guys, Evans and Godwin. And if you, like I said, if you're desperate for a tight end, Cade Otton against this really bad pass defense in Tennessee. Really bad. All right, let's move on to the Atlanta Falcons at the Arizona Cardinals. Taylor Heineke, come on, man. I'd be surprised. Well, let me put it this way. I'm expecting the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons to not be the head coach going into 2024. Mismanagement of his star running back and going with the running back that he had last year over the number 8 pick in this year's draft. Now, you picked them in number 8 for a reason. And you haven't used them like a number 8 pick in the draft. So, and you habitually done that. I don't know what the problem is. Of course, he's performed anytime, most of the time he's gotten touches, whether in the passing game or rushing the football. But you consistently rather go to the so-called backup. Hello? Really? Got to be surprised. Anyway, I know reluctantly, but you still got to play Bijan Robinson. Hopefully, this is the week that he gets unleashed. You got to play Jonnu Smith. Kyle Pitts is a lost in space. I'll put it that way. Lost in space. People keep on going with that name and keep on putting him into the lineup. I don't understand. I had him at one point uh, for a hot minute and got rid of him, packaged him with somebody else, and got rid of him because he's a waste. They waste him. They don't use him in the right way. That's what I'm talking about. This offense has pieces, but they don't use them the way I think they should. Okay. On the other side, welcome back to the NFL, Kyler Murray. I saw an interview with Kyler Murray a few days ago. He looked like a different person to me. Looked like a different. Let me put it. He presented himself as a different person. As a different person. Okay. So what I'm thinking is this: a more humble Kyler Murray is a good thing. A more humble Kyler Murray is a good thing. I'm telling you to play Kyler Murray. They're playing at home. Ideal. They're playing at home. He's got all his weapons, including James Conner, supposed to come back. He's got Michael Wilson. That's a sleeper, people. Michael Wilson and Marquise Brown. I expect Marquise Brown to have a big day. And Trey McBride. Okay. The second-year tight end. No more Zach Ertz. He's on IR. Trey McBride. Okay. I like those pieces in this offense and in fantasy. All right, let's move on to the another 4 o'clock game would be Detroit and LA. Fireworks. This is 4th of July in the middle of November. Okay. 4th of July in the middle of November. You play Jared Goff. I know Jared Goff is not good on the road, but this is inside. He's inside on a dome. Okay. He's got David Montgomery coming back. You play David Montgomery. David Montgomery, Dan Cameron already said he's going to resume the same role he had before. So how much does David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs get touches? I think David Montgomery is better suited and better thought of as getting more touches than Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs performed just what you thought he would be when he was a lone guy getting the ball. Or the majority, the guy with the majority of touches. Well, he won't be that again. But you got to play Jahmyr Gibbs, and he's a flex, definitely a flex. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta, the rookie tight end, heavily involved in the passing game. I like those pieces. On the other side, Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler needs passes to be effective, pass catching. You got Keenan Allen, Quentin Johnson, Gerald Everett on the offensive side of the ball, besides Justin Herbert at home. All right? Those are the pieces. I think this is going to be fireworks. I think there's going to be fireworks. Okay? So, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, people. I like this. Anyway, let's talk about this. New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. This is horrible. Horrible. With Tommy DeVito as the quarterback. The only play, and very weak, but good luck with Saquon Barkley, is to play Saquon Barkley, because I don't like any of these pieces in the passing game. Tommy DeVito, this is the run heavy for the Giants. This is fantasy goodness for Dallas, Dak Prescott, Tony Pollard, CeeDee Lamb, and maybe even Brandon Cooks in this offense. This is, I can't see how more lopsided this can possibly be. Can't see it. That's why I'm going to move on to the Washington Commanders at Seattle Seahawks. They're playing at home. Geno playing at home. Play Geno Smith. Sam Howell, Eric Bieniemy offense. They throw the ball a lot. Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson, flexes at best in this. Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, and Logan Thomas are the three options I like in the passing game besides that. Okay. Geno, you play Geno. I like to keep Geno in this. I like let me put it this way. I think Geno's gonna have a good time passing the football at home against this. They lost their pass rush. Montez Sweat and Chase Young are no longer with the team. They got traded away. Who's going to be the pass? Who's going to be the pass rush? They're going to do a lot of blitzing. I can see that to make up for their pass rush. A lot of blitzing. Okay. But I like Kenny Walker, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Xigba, and Tyler Lockett. And watch out, because Kenneth Walker may be a little banged up. Walk out for Charbonnet, Zach Charbonnet. Okay. I'm just saying. I got a feeling. And the feeling I have also is with the San Francisco 49ers, Chris McCaffrey. I got a feeling. People, pick up Elijah Mitchell. Pick up Elijah Mitchell. I'm just saying. I got a feeling. Anyway, let's move on to the Jets at the Las Vegas Raiders. You know what? Zach Wilson, don't play him. This is the running back game. Breece Hall, and more Breece Hall. If you in desperation mode, I would say this in desperation mode because of the amount of targets that he gets. You may go with Garrett Wilson, but buyer beware. Okay, the Jets have a good defense. They're on the road playing the Las Vegas Raiders. I can't tell you to play Aiden O'Connell. I can't tell you to play Devontae Adams. I had Devontae Adams. I got him away. I'm taking a chance here. I don't think, let me put it this way. I watched the Las Vegas game last week. And what I saw in the beginning of the game in the first two quarters was them concentrating on the run. In the third quarter, you could see that the game plan changed to offset what the Giants were thinking about, trying to stop the run, and they decided to go to Devontae Adams that much. And Devontae Adams only had a little more than 7 points, 7 fantasy points. Yeah. And he had 4 the week before, maybe that. He's looking to catch lightning in a bottle. You're going against the name. I've always said this. Pay attention to the numbers, not the name. The numbers tell you that this guy's performing. The name does not. Okay? Okay? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And the Monday night game. I talked about this yesterday, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Saturday afternoon. I talked about it on the FSP show. Buffalo Bills had a team meeting that was called by Latavius Murray, who, like I said yesterday, ain't been on a team but a minute, and called an offensive-only players meeting. What's up with that? Denver coming off a fantastic win off the Kansas City Chiefs, their division rival in Kansas City. Now it's on the road again after a bye week against the Buffalo Bills. Can they repeat, or Latavius Murray is going to surprise the Buffalo Bills? Is that why Latavius Murray called a meeting? Because Buffalo Bills are 5-3? The Denver Broncos aren't even close to that. but can catch up, but can surprise the Buffalo Bills, just like they surprised the Kansas City Chiefs. You play Josh Allen. You got to. You play Stephon Diggs. You got to. You play Dalton Kincaid. You got to. Okay? Those are the main three pieces that I say you play. Gabe Davis is up and down. You never know what you're going to get with Gabe Davis. You never know. I'm talking about consistent pieces to play. I'm talking about Cortland Sutton and Russell Wilson. People are discounting Cortland Sutton. Don't discount him. I'm saying he's the main target for Russell Wilson. He's a more reliable target for Russell Wilson. Do I say play Russell Wilson? No. But Cortland Sutton, hell yeah. Javonte Williams, he's getting more and more healthy. I think and after a week in the bye, he's got a little rest. He's ready to grow. Definitely play that. All right, people. I've said enough, and I'm going to end this show right now. And I know it's usually I run an hour, but that doesn't necessarily hold true. Tune in next week, week 11. This is an important week for you, week 10. Important week. Hopefully you come out with a win and pick up some players in the interim and make some moves before the trade deadline to shore up your team. Or you can become a spoiler and knock off some teams and get them out of the playoff. You can always do that. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the games. And I'll see you